Alright guys, we're back on the video. Of course, I went to work on the car outside today. But the one day during the week where it has to rain, so I can't work on the car outside. So I pulled it in this spot here. And today what we're going to be doing is changing the dashboard harness. In order to change the dashboard harness, I'm going to take out all the seats. The two front seats, the center console, and all the other panels on the sides. And then I saw a couple of videos online how to do it. Just remove these 10mm bolts on each side and the center and take the whole dashboard out. Lower the steering column down and all that stuff. Because, like I said in the last video, the only harness in the car that isn't a Hellcat harness is the dashboard harness. So I went and got a 2016 Hellcat Charger dashboard harness. So the idea is to pull the entire dashboard out as one piece and then swap this onto the dashboard harness and put the dashboard back in the car just to make all the other stuff work. And I've been making some progress on the steering wheel. I got the harness for the light up airbag, the Demon wheel, and then this harness also has the plug for the electric column, which makes the telescoping column work and all that stuff. So we're getting there. So that's what I'm gonna get into today. And also my buddy's gonna be stopping by today to take a look at the car as far as the body work and all that stuff. So you can see the dents here. This door is a little bit unaligned. Somebody tried to break into this car at one time. Got a dent there, a dent up here. You can't see it because the car's really black. And it's dark in here. So, got a dent there. Gotta pull that out. You know, just body damage like all over the car. Not bad, but you know, I want to respray the entire car. Got a crease here going down the door. You know, another crease over here, door and fender, crease here. Fender got screwed up somehow. So, like I said, the car needs body work. So, but I have my buddy stop by in about an hour or so while I'm working on the dashboard. He's gonna take a look at the car and see what it needs, you know, to straighten it out and repaint it. I told him don't worry about the hood and the front bumper because all that's getting changed, but just the fenders and stuff, the door, like I said, you know, more dents here, but you know, he can take care of it. So that's what we're gonna get into today. I'm gonna start taking the seats out and lower the steering wheel down, all that stuff. And I'll show you guys what I'm doing. Alright, I thought I'd give you guys a little bit of an update here. Things are being a pain in the butt. There's two ways to take the steering column out. Well, one way actually. I jacked the car up, as you can see, and I detached the steering column from the power steering unit under the car, electric power steering. I just detached it, and then you can't see all the way back there, I don't think, but there's two 10mm bolts that were holding that rubber boot on. So now, if I pull the dash out with the steering column intact, the dash will be heavier. But what I can do is take the steering wheel off and the multi-function switch off and pull the dashboard like over where the steering wheel would be to make it easier, kind of. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'll wait for Keith to get here, give me a hand lifting the dashboard, see what happens. Because if I lift the dashboard right now, it'll pull the whole steering shaft from under the car up through the firewall and out with the dash in one piece. So I'm still trying to decide what I want to do. I might just bolt it back together underneath the car to the steering rack and then take the airbag off, like I said, and this multi-function switch and just slide the entire dash over the column and get it out that way. So, but I'm waiting for Keith to show up to discuss that with him, see what he thinks is going to be easier. And my buddy came and checked out the car, and he drew circles all over it. These were all the like either major or minor dents are. There's a dent there, but he just like chalked it up and just to see what he's getting himself into. You know, with the like, some are like major spots and some are like very minor, like door dings and stuff. This is what he circled, like door dings and like, you know, other small things like that. And this is like a big thing here because somebody tried breaking into the car, as I told you, a long time ago. So he covered up, you know, he circled all the damage on the car, which is something he's going to be working on starting in a couple weeks. The trunk is the cleanest panel on the car. There's a couple things here and there. This side, you know, this was a mistake. That's not, it doesn't need anything. But, you know, little like, you know, whether it was like hail or door dings, he circled like everything. So, but yeah, I think I might just get a replacement fender because he said to do all the work on this fender, you know, it'd probably be cheaper just to buy a replacement fender and throw it on instead of just like, you know, breaking all, like just repairing all this stuff. Like these things are like, I don't know, somebody really screwed this car up pretty bad. I told him don't worry about the hood because I have the other hood, and don't worry about the front bumper because I'm changing the front bumper. So, but I think I might look at a replacement fender. But this is all the stuff that's wrong with this car right here. But he's gonna get started in another week or two. He ordered all the like the you know, the sanding pads and all that stuff like that. So he came and checked it out. He said, you know, he's seen a lot worse. So, but we're definitely gonna spray paint the whole entire car. So we're gonna find a booth somewhere, rent it out, and just spray the whole car. So that's what it looks like. This car is in rough shape, but when it's done, I told him that I want the car to look like glass. Like, you know, like he knows all about body work. I know about like, you know, doing cars. He knows about body work. So, but that's where we're at. So the body work's gonna start soon. I just feel like it was a major accomplishment to just, you know, get in here to do at least this so far so we can see what he's getting into. You know, I'm just getting excited because the body work's finally gonna start, you know, so. But that's it for now. Let me get back into this thing when Keith gets here. I'll show you what we get into. All right, guys. As you just saw in that time lapse, well, first of all, it's a couple days later here, probably like 4 or 5, 6 days later. What I did in that time lapse was install a power steering column, like telescoping. Has electric motors here, another motor over there. I don't know if you can see it or not. It's up in there. The other motor. So there's 2 motors, in, out, up, down, all that fun stuff. I installed a new dash harness, like I said I was gonna. This is the new dash harness. This goes to an amp that I don't have. That goes up there somewhere. Anyway, the fun part is that on this dash harness, there's 2 plugs. An old brown plug and a new gray plug. The new gray plug is off of, sorry about that. You can see it hanging right there. There's it right here, this little one. That one. If you look up in there, there's a brown plug hanging back in there. I'm sure you can see it right there. There's a brown plug. Get you in there. There's a brown plug right there. There's a gray plug here. Believe it or not, these 2 plugs don't go together. This is off a charger dash harness, obviously, and that brown plug back there is from the headlight harness, which is from a Challenger, which I made work. So I'm having a problem now getting that plug to plug in. The brown plug to plug into the gray plug. So that's an issue because the car won't start. It's all because of that stupid Challenger harness I bought when I first started the project. I should just got a headlight. I should just bought a Charger headlight harness, but what are you gonna do now? I mean, the car runs great, just I have to get the car worked on by my buddy out in Massachusetts in order to make the plugs work. So they bring the car out to him. He has the other connector, so it's just a matter of him reading the wiring diagram and putting the plugs together. So that's all it is. So I installed the power steering column. I just test fitted the Demon wheel. See how it looks. You know, I got the new multifunction switch. I'm working on getting the airbag. So that's what we're doing now. So I'm working on putting the car back together now that the power steering column is in. I didn't want to put the old power steering column in because I knew I was getting the electric one, because the dashboard harness came with the provisions for the electric. Such a huge difference between the 2. This is the old manual column right here, and the power one is just so much heavier. I was trying to like get onto the drive shaft under the car and all that stuff. So, but I'm gonna keep on plugging away and see how far I get today. I want to have the seats back in, and what my idea is, I'm just gonna take the old dashboard harness and just run it throughout the car temporarily until I get out to my buddy's house and have him do the wiring so I can drive the car. That's the plan. I may wind up having to tow it, but we'll see how it goes. All right, guys, I'm back. It's 2 days later from the last video. I just put the whole entire inside of the car back together, and I just draped the harness throughout the interior just so that the car will start and run. So I could drive to my buddy's house to have him finish up the wiring, that one section. So I just put the exterior harness. This is gruesome, be forewarned. This is not easy to look at, but everything works like this. But this is just so that I can drive it out there, because I didn't feel like taking the whole entire dashboard out again in order to put the old harness back in order to take it back out again, put the new harness back in. So what I did was I just put the old harness in the front of where it should go. Like all this stuff is just like the front harness. You know, everything is like where it should be. Watch this. So you have this other button here. I pushed that button there, but this is onto the old harness. So everything's like just draped here temporarily. This is just so that I could drive the car to my buddy's house, so that when I get there, watch this. Starts right up. Starts right up. This is all because of one plug. Turn it off. This is all because of one plug. Just one plug. Unbelievable. So the interior is back together. Seats are here. They all move. This and that, that and this. It's just so like frustrating. I knew when I started this project, I'll make this as brief as I can. When I started this project, I knew that this car came with electric power steering from the factory. So I said, okay. So knowing that it had an electric power steering rack, I initially tried to order a 2016 Charger headlight harness. I tried to get that. The place on eBay that I tried getting it from, the guy had it listed on the site, but he could not find it on the shelf. So he's like, listen, I have a 2017 Challenger headlight harness. He's like, if you want, I'll send you that one. And I saw both plugs on it. The one big plug with the black and red leads for the radiator fans, and the other lead was for the power steering. It's like identical connectors. They look like this. Hang on, I think I have one sitting right here. Give me a second. I have the thing right here. Oh, here it is. This is what I saw when I saw that headlight harness, because this goes either to a, like I said, fan or the electric power steering. And the other 17 Challenger harness on eBay had this, that the guy sent me pictures of. So I was like, you know what? I'll just kill two birds at one stone, because I can just, I'll have the provision to plug in the electric power steering rack. I have electric power steering rack already, I thought. I was like, what could possibly go wrong? So I got the headlight harness from a Challenger. And when I got it, I knew something was wrong. And of course, it's eBay, so you can't return anything. So I got in touch with my buddy, Seth, out in Massachusetts. I explained to him what happened. He said, bring the car to me. He's a guru at wiring CAN bus systems and all other electronics. I can go on for an hour. He's just really knowledgeable, and he knows what he's doing. So I bring the car out there. He had to add like 2 or 3 wires to specific locations for the CAN bus, and the car ran and drive fine. You guys have seen me. I've been driving the car for like 3,000 miles, like over a year now, for almost a year. But I was like, you know what? And then it turns out that I should have bought. I'm sorry. I wound up buying a Challenger or Charger 2020 Charger Challenger. I forgot which one it was. I wound up buying an electric power steering rack from a Hellcat anyway, because the car wanted it. It kept on throwing an error code for service power steering, because it wanted the power steering rack with the functionality of the Sport Street Strip or Street Strip Track, whatever the hell it is. The car was looking for it, and the car would always like get mad and say service power steering. So long story short is that if I would have got the 2016 Charger headlight harness, I would have wound up buying a power steering. I would have wound up buying a power steering rack anyway, whether it was conventional or, it was going to be conventional, because all I was had to do was buy a new rack, like a conventional power steering rack, and get the lines in the cooler. And I had the pump already. But you guys saw me. I did a power steering pump delete on this car, because the power steering in this car is electric now, which it always was. But I can go on for an hour. I just wish I would have done. I wish that I would have got the 2016 rack, power steering rack, the harness rather, because this is just like. I mean, it's cool to have the functionality of like choosing stiffness modes while you're driving and this and that, but that's the story about how I should have just stuck with conventional power steering. And that's also the reason why these two plugs will not connect, because this 2016 Charger Hellcat dashboard harness plug is looking for a 2016 Charger female headlight harness plug. And they call it a headlight harness because it goes to both headlights and it goes against the firewall. It comes in down by this side, it comes in down by that side. It's looking for that plug. And that's why I'm in the position I'm in now, where I just wish I would have, things happen for a reason. It is what it is. The car still runs and drives great. I know people that have done Hellcat swaps to these cars. There's more than 2 of us doing this. I know another guy out in Texas that's done it, and he wishes he had electric power steering. He wants to do the electric power steering. So, but that's like the Cliff's Note story of the version of the story, because that's it. And then next week, as I said, it was supposed to be this week, but it's going to be next week. The body work's going to get started, because as you can see, we have all the fancy circles on here where the dents are and stuff. So I'm going to wind up buying a whole new fender for that side, because the amount of damage that's on that fender over there is just not like, it's not like time worthy to like fix. It's better if I get a new fender on eBay for $100. A lot of damage to this fender, this and that. I'm gonna get a new bumper from the dealer, and I got the hood in the box over there. So, and also people contact me asking me if I do swaps and stuff. Like I do. If you bring me your 300 and you bring me a donor car, I will do a swap for you for a fee. So there's that, because I get people contacting me on Instagram, which I don't mind. I think it's cool you guys reach out to me, or where they find me and they reach out to me. But yeah, I will do a swap for you. So we'll discuss price after we contact. So, but that's it for this week, and hopefully next week. Well, next week's video will be Fred's car again. the Cadillac ATS. That's next week's video. I'm doing a whole bunch of stuff to that car next week, so stay tuned for that. And that's it. You know, sorry I babbled on for 7 minutes, but I had to tell you guys a story. But everything's back together for the most part. All I'm missing now is a light up airbag. I'm gonna order that this week, and then I gotta find a screen, 2017 screen. But all right, guys, that's it. I'll catch you next week. Be sure to comment, subscribe, ring the bell, tell your friends. See you later.